Hey guys, it's Gaba VR, and this time I will show you how to shoot such a nice B-roll sequence of yourself all alone with an Insta360 camera and only a couple of accessories. Let's check it out once again and then let's jump into it. As you can see, there are really fast cuts and camera movements in this short sequence. So let's see everything step by step and how we can record and put these things together very easily. There will be a landing shot, a Matrix type freeze time effect and some bullet time shot also inspired by the Matrix. And for the bullet time shot I will use a small accessory, a red balloon. If you want to learn more about bullet time and why I use this balloon, or how you could replace it with other objects and some ideas during post-production, check out my previous videos in the write-up corner. But now let's fasten this balloon on top of the bullet time handle and let's jump into it, literally. First I start with the landing scene. Shooting with a 360 camera, it's really easy because we can add all the camera movements in post. So I just put my camera on a tripod and I start jumping with the modified bullet time handle in my hand. It's very important that I plan this jump and I repeat it every time the same way. I keep my right hand in the air while I touch the ground with my left hand. Then I play around with the settings and I put the camera in a lower angle, so it will be around eye level after landing. I shoot this first scene in 5.7K, 25 FPS and in HDR mode to keep all the details on the sky, which will have an important role during post-production. But now I continue with recording the third shot from a tiny tripod without any further changes in the camera settings. So I replace my bigger tripod with this tiny one and I jump over it a couple of times with the bullet time handle and the balloon in my hand. I start from the landing position and walk towards the camera and jump. That's all. I will take care of the camera movements later during post-production. And last but not least, I record the second shot, which will be in between the landing and jumping shot I've already recorded. I switched the video mode to 4K 50 FPS and getting rid of the tripods, I put my camera on the bullet time handle. I used the selfie stick to set up the proper distance during shooting. So now I have both the camera and the balloon connected to the bullet time handle and I record everything after landing. I slowly stand up and start walking away while I'm spinning the camera above my head with a constant speed as smoothly as possible. As I'm done with all the 3 basic shots, it's time to edit the video. First I import my landing shot in Premiere and pick out the best take. I apply the GoPro effects plugin and reframe the shot in 4K resolution. I want to create a fake camera tilt effect, first looking up to the sky and then tilting down really fast. I start with a small camera tilting just a couple of frames before I hit the ground. I want the camera to follow this movement. Then I cut the scene and take a screenshot. I save the first frame as a PNG image and continue editing. I'm searching for an empty shot before I walk into the scene. I add a frame hold and move it in the beginning and start creating the fake camera movement. I copy the first keyframes from the landing scene and paste it on the empty shot. These will be the last keyframes in this case, so the fake camera settings will match perfectly. And then I create the starting position turning the camera to the sky. That's how I create this tilting camera movement in post. As you can see, everything looks really nice except the landing, as the beginning of the scene is empty. But now it's time to solve this problem. I open the screenshot in Photoshop and create a mask around myself. I could have made it in Premiere too, but I prefer to do it in Photoshop as I can draw a more precise mask and even more I can refine it painting on the mask layer. And when I'm done, I save the transparent PSD file and import it into Premiere. I drag and drop it on the timeline and search for the effect called transform. I create keyframes for all the parameters and move them to the end of the clip. And then I start creating the starting points. I resize and reposition myself to make it look like I was falling down from the sky. And to make it look more realistic, I add some motion blur to it, setting the shutter angle to 120 degrees. I refine the size and position and check out the final result. It's quite fast and after all it will look really cool. So as I'm done with the first shot, it's time to continue with the next one. Actually, this will be the second shot I've recorded, but in the end, there will be one more shot in between. But now let's see that freeze time effect shot with the tiny tripod on the ground. I import the 360 video, pick up the best take and apply the Gabor effects plugin to reframe it. As I'm walking towards the camera, I add some keyframes to create a fake camera movement, turning the camera totally upwards right at the moment when I'm in the air above the camera. And at this point I make a cut, then I duplicate the clip and add a frame hold, so there will be a still frame with me in the middle of the jump. Now I insert it right between the two parts at the cutting point. So I freeze this movement for a while before the jump continues. Or actually, I won't leave it this way. I play around with it, creating further keyframes on the Gabor effects panel. I do some pin and tilt and maybe I play around with the zoom too to make it look even better. And then I select and copy all the ending keyframes to the next clip, making them the starting points, so the movements will be totally continuous after the virtual camera turns around. And maybe I get rid of this rabbit hole view and finally I switch to a traditional camera angle and field of view at the end of the jump. So these were the new techniques I wanted to show you, and now here comes the bullet time shot. If you are interested about the basics and my advanced shooting and editing tips, check out my previous detailed bullet time tutorials. But now let's edit the missing shots of this cool landing scene. As I was shooting with 50 FPS, first I slowed down the clip to half speed and start keyframing. I want to keep myself in the middle of the frame while the camera is spinning around me. That's how I bring more camera movements in the scene as I'm standing up after landing. And when I'm done, I nest the clip. Even more, I nest all the other shots too I've created before, so I will have some nested sequences with all the settings called bullet time, landing or jump. As I set up a 4K output in each case, now I can mix these nested sequences on a 4K timeline. You know, I shot with different video settings, but finally they have the same format and I can treat these nested sequences like any other normal videos. But I have the freedom to go back and edit anything if needed, or I can add further shots to the video the same way. For instance, I continue with another bullet time shot as I'm walking away after the small jump. I slow down the video and create keyframes just like before. Then I nest this video too and move it on the 4K timeline. And finally I add a closing shot with a low camera angle. I don't have too much to edit, but when I'm done, I nest this clip too, and that's all. My short video is completed. Or there's a very important finalizing step to be done, and that's the sound design. Just like in most of the cases, I use the audio recorded on the spot, and then I add music and some further sound effects to put the whole scene together. Editing music tracks is unescapable, as in most of the cases the music tracks have different length than we need. So this time I also play around with it, cutting the end of the track somewhere in the middle of it. Of course I listen to the music and I make this cut at the point where it sounds okay musically too. Then I boost the sound with some whoosh effects, focusing on the landing and the shots with a spinning camera. And as I found the transition on the music track a little bit too harsh, I tried to cover it with a boost sound too. And now let's check out the final result. I hope you enjoyed watching these tips and tricks working with a 360 camera and 360 raw materials. And if you are interested about my further photo and video techniques, or even recreating film tricks with a 360 camera, check out this playlist in the right top corner. And if you like this video, please thumbs up, and for further 360 contents and tutorials, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see you next time!